All right, we're back to Coon Prairie Ramblers, confabulating on this and that. And you know, one thing I noticed about you, KC, is you are very chaste in your deportment.
I've been chased a few times.
They chased
Got
me,
caught a couple times and beat up.
but it's easy to catch me now while I'm in a scooter.
No, your language, you, I've never known you to curse.
I have, but I've got to where I don't.
It's a bad habit.
You do it like me, it's internal?
Yeah. Internalize it.
Yeah, good thing they can't hear it, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, there are those occasions where the normal language is just not enough. And I kind of thought about that this morning. I saw a sign that said, in case of emergency, break a hole in the wall here or break the wall here. And I got thinking about the fact that things happen, and just using normal language. If you were walking around a house in the middle of the night and you stepped on a Lego, you don't want to go, verily, verily, I say to you, do not leave Legos laying in the floor. It takes a little stronger language.
But
you don't want to curse.
Yeah.
So you say something like, dag nabbit, or dang it, who left this Lego laying in the floor?
Shoot fire.
And we all have different words that we use. I mean, I don't think anybody doesn't have some forms of.
I just use words that everybody else is using. I don't.
Well, you said mule fritter.
Oh, that was from Colonel Potter and MASH. He used that.
Mule fritters.
Oh, mule fritters.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
You got any, Luke, that you use?
I don't know. Here, step on my foot. Let's see. Stomp on it.
Well, I just found out not too long ago that I used to always say "daggone," and I didn't realize I was going through the Bible and thinking, it didn't occur to me, well, daggone it was one of the pagan gods in the Old Testament.
Oh, you're in trouble now, brother.
I was invoking his name. Of course, I was using his name in vain. Maybe that's okay, huh? Maybe it's okay to say daggone.
Dag nabbit or doggone. I mean, a lot of this.
Well, yeah, you don't want to be conjuring him up, though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need him here on the radio this morning.
But, you know, the story that got me thinking about also, not just curse words that we use that aren't curse words, that are substitute words for the curse words.
Mm-hmm. Fizzle.
Fizzle.
Fudge.
Fizzle.
Fudge.
Fizzle. You got a problem. You got fizzle sticks.
Yeah, and everybody seems to have something else saying, like dang or
Fiddlesticks.
And I also say sometimes, oh my gravy.
Yeah.
Shoot a monkey.
Yeah, shoot a monkey.
You know, I've never noticed my wife ever. I don't remember her ever hear her cuss, except way back in our early relationship, she used the S word one time because she was dropping something and she couldn't catch it, and it went crashing to the floor. My mother, her word was Sam Hill.
I remember that. Sam Hill. And people used to say, bye, Ned. Or by Jove, or
by Jove,
by different, a lot of things, by cracky. Yeah, they would say by whatever.
For Pete's sake.
And then the Bible tells you you're not supposed to swear by
anything. We're supposed to say a chance would be yay and nay.
Yeah.
That's right.
But then I got to thinking about the.
Yay. For something good, you go, yay. If you step on a Lego, you go, nay.
I got to think about the knocking the hole in the wall. Put me in mind of an old song by Wendy Bagwell, where he was at a church performing a concert, and it was a snake handling church, and they started bringing out the serpents, and I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I mean, they literally hold them up and wave them around and
actually, I'm
walk
not familiar,
around them. And
we're talking about rattlesnakes.
Yeah, rattlesnakes. Oh, copperheads,
full of venom.
Hey, people have died from that.
Yeah, and they started waving around. And I think Wendy Bagwell was ready to leave that place, and he's in the back of the church, and he says to the other guy, he said, well, where do you reckon the back door is? Or where's the back door? And the other guy said, there ain't one. I checked. He said, where do you reckon they want one?
Yeah,
he's ready to knock a hole in the wall for his emergency exit. But he was very good at telling funny stories and not using any curse words, not being vulgar or anything else, but he could tell some hilarious stories, and he'd keep you riveted to find out what happened. And then that, naturally takes me to people like Jerry Clower, which I think at one time I had every one of his albums. And
The Mouth of the Mississippi.
Yeah. And now he was a salesman from Yazoo City, Mississippi. And he found out that if he could go to these places that had to buy his products, whatever it was he was selling. Was it fertilizer or something?
Yeah, I think it was fertilizer.
fertilizer.
So he just switched from one fertilizer to the other.
And so he'd start spreading the other
Verbal
fertilizer. And he found that if he could get in there and tell them a funny story, that he had a lot better chance of selling them a product. So he developed that in, I'm sure he had some sort of natural ability to do that. Mm-hmm. And then there was Grady Nutt that used to be on a hee-haw show, and he could weave a tale. And they all said that most of this stuff was based on true stories, that you couldn't make up things as funny as things that actually happened. The trick is being able to tell it in a funny way. And, we know people in our own lives like Roy Mott that has never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Hear, hear.
Not that he's a liar, but he can weave a story.
He can.
He can really weave. He's got a gift at it.
With a gift.
He has a gift of weaving a good story. And I'm sure there's things that happened where we stepped on the jacks or we stepped on a Lego that if it could be told in the right way, it could make a pretty hilarious story. So
that's exactly right.
Jerry Clower, it seems to me some of those stories had to be made up. I mean, they were so outlandish.
Well, they were made up. They were, what's the word I'm looking for?
Confabulated?
Not enhanced.
Enhanced.
They were definitely enhanced.
Yeah, I think they were based on
exaggerated.
Well, some of these movies you see on TV based on
the truth.
Yeah.
Based on the truth. It could be just, the person had the right name. That was it. It was a story about Joe Blow, and it was a story about Joe Blow.
They can wrap it around
from there on, it was nothing.
One grain of truth. They can build a whole seashore full of
it. They all didn't look like Marilyn Monroe or Raquel Welch.
But he had characters named Eugene.
That's the Ledbetter family.
All the genes.
I think we all knew growing up at least one family had a whole slew of youngins, and some of them were a little bit out there. I certainly grew up around some people like that, and I think we all knew a family like that. So he was just playing on that, I think.
And, they were supposed to be kin to him, weren't they? Aunt Pat and...
They might have been. I don't remember.
Uncle.
Had a lot of funny stories about him. But
the rat killing.
The rat, that's one of my favorite stories, the rat killing. But he had such a strong accent and such a delivery. He was like an old-time preacher. Up there.
And
he had that sound, that preacher sound,
Some of his lines became bylines or became...
catchphrases.
Shoot
up here amongst us.
Shoot this thing.
Knock him out, John.
Yeah. He'd walk on the stage, he just got introduced. He'd walk on the stage, and he'd say, "Woo, shoot this thing," and they knew what he's talking about because they'd heard that story.
He's one of those guys you felt like you knew. You heard him so much, like you could.
Yeah, like you'd like to sit around and talk to him.
I don't know how anybody raised in the city could relate to him, but I'm sure maybe, and hopefully some of them enjoyed him, but I don't think they appreciate him as much as somebody from the country.
I'll tell you one that's alive now that can weave a pretty good story. He's not quite as... what's the word, clean necessarily. He's not dirty, but James Gregory. Look him up on YouTube and listen to some of his stories.
Mm-hmm. Where does he entertain
my gosh. I don't know. He calls himself the funniest man in America or something like that, but look up James Gregory and some of his
watched
stories.
One recently of him, and it was funny.
It's pretty funny, yeah.
I can't recall. I think he was impersonating his mama or something like that.
He does that a lot, but not in impersonation in the form of trying to talk like them, but emphasizing the way they say things.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like a good comedian or a good storyteller. Anyway, we're about out of time. We're going to leave y'all again, but don't go away. We'll be right back.